Quick disclaimer, this is actually not my design. I followed Joey, the king of DIY's design on this tank stand build, so definitely a shout out to him because what he came up with I think is super simple, extremely sturdy, and really anyone can do it. So the first step is just to really make a box for the bottom part of the frame, and to do that you need to first decide how long you want it to be. I chose to make mine the exact length of the aquarium. Some people choose to make it a little bit longer so they can have a ledge, but that's totally up to you. So you make this bottom box based on the dimensions that you want as a first step. Next you want to make another box the exact same size because you need 2 of these for this build. Next you're going to cut the legs. The legs of course will determine how tall the stand is going to be. Totally up to you, but I will say you need to make sure that if you're going to use a sump that you make it tall enough that the sump can easily fit in, and then also the skimmer or any other piece of equipment that you're going to use can go in and out of the stand easily for cleaning and things like that. So keep that in mind when you're determining the height. So here comes the second box I mentioned earlier. You're going to flip what you've created directly over and slide it into that other box to create the stand. So for a 6-foot tank, I really do recommend putting some middle braces in. That can make it a little difficult to get a sump in and out, but I think at least that it's critical to have some support in the middle of the stand for a tank this large, but that's totally up to you. That's my 2 cents. And in terms of support, you can add as much or as little as you would like. I like to have as much support as possible, so you can see me here adding some cross, arms or braces just to make it a little bit stronger. Next step is again something completely optional, but I always choose to do it. I like to take an additional piece of wood and add it in between the top and bottom to make the wood be completely flush, which makes it not only easier to add a wrap down the road if you choose, but also adds just an additional layer of support. So obviously wood prices are crazy these days. In an ideal world, I would have just got a large piece of oak or something along those lines to create a nice, one cut top piece of this stand. But what I found was a couple of smaller pieces that I ended up nailing together to create the top of the stand. And then I went ahead and did the same thing for the bottom. So when it comes to 6-foot plus tanks, I like to be able to park a Suburban on top of my stand, so I typically end up adding a ton of extra support. And finishing touch, I've decided to go with a light stain for this particular build. It is a stain and poly in one.